Hey, what's up, everyone? This is Morey Croson from the Performance Lab of California, and we are doing another speed breakdown here today. Today, it will be on Ben Johnson, one of the best sprinters of all time. His career got a little bit tarnished just because he got caught with, taking steroids and things of that nature. That at the end of the day, he's still able to accomplish a lot of the or everything that he was able to accomplish. So he still has good things that we can learn from. He might have used some performance enhancers to make it so he was able to get better numbers than what maybe he potentially would have gotten. But either way, again, he still achieved what he achieved. So and there's still some good things that we can get from his running technique. Again, or his lane or where he is right here. And I think one of the big things that we could take from his overall sprinting is his start. Okay, he has a really, really good start. And first, I think an interesting thing to look at is he has a pretty wide arm placement, and he is a little bit shorter of a guy, and that could be a reason. But if you look at the other guys, he has a pretty. These guys all have pretty short hand placements compared to him. And one of the big things that I think we could take from is how fast he gets kind of his feet down, how quick he gets out of that acceleration phase and just gets right into top speed. This Carl Lewis here too, so you can kind of compare him to Carl Lewis as well. So when he comes through initially, I think it's interesting. He goes with both of his arms back, right? So you can see some of these other guys, they go one arm forward, one arm back, and that's traditionally what I see. But he goes both arms back, flings them both back. And he really is trying to get that hip through, but he gets that first foot down pretty quickly. His leg is in a good amount of external rotation, which means his toes kind of pushing out to the side, knees out to the side, and he's using that to really drive into his second step here. And he gets his second step down. You can see how fast that second foot's touching the ground and where everybody else's second step is. Not one other person is touching the ground. He's almost touching the ground. And he's already on the ground there, okay? So that's interesting to see. I think it's the same type of thing with that third step. See, that third step's already down, and this guy over here has also got that third step down, but these other guys still don't have their third step down. So his ability to get his steps down are really quite amazing, and part of the reason why he's able to do that is because he right away just flings those arms back, gets those hips all the way into it, and gets that right foot down right away. Okay, and because of that, now he's at an advantage compared to everybody else in how many steps he's taken and how fast he's getting everything going. So now we'll continue to see Ben start to take off here. And one of the things that I thought was unique about him is, and we'll see this a little bit better from the front, is he creates a large amount of external rotation the entire time that he's running, and it seems like that makes it so we can get that foot really underneath him and behind pretty quick. He does a great job of getting those hips all the way through as he's running. Okay, he does a good job getting that knee, having a good solid knee drive, but again, it seems like really what he does extremely well is get that foot back into external rotation and back around really quickly. And I think that's what his driving force is. I mean, I've heard rumors about him having some of the stronger hamstrings of any sprinting athlete that people have seen. And I think that's partially what it comes from. I'm speeding up here to show you kind of what he looks like from the front. So you can see big step here. He turns that foot all the way into a lot of external rotation, and it seems like the more that I look at these guys with their starts, it seems like that beginning valgus and really driving that knee in is something that is really a critical movement. So you need to have a lot of ability to move your hip both from an internally rotated position, which is where it is now, to be able to externally rotate a lot as well, where he does there, and be able to do that very quickly and with a lot of force. And you can see that he has a lot of range of motion to be able to do that, and a lot of overall force production to be able to do that. But you can see, again, as he's running, notice how, and as they go here, it gets a little bit clearer. You can see how he goes and he drives that knee all the way up and in, and then he gets into that external rotation and gets that foot down, again, really quickly, and then it's all about getting that heel up to butt and then driving it right straight through. He doesn't really even get that heel all the way up to his butt before he starts just that straight knee drive. And that's making it so he's not spending very much time off the ground. That's one of the key things that we talk about is your feet want to be on the ground for a lot, a large portion of the race. And that doesn't mean that your foot contact time, so you can see how quick his foot touches. I'll move this here. See how quick that left foot touches and gets it off the ground, but then that right foot needs to come back onto the ground pretty quickly. You don't want to spend a lot of time just kind of hanging out in the air. You want to be able to, as soon as that left foot gets off the ground, get that right foot down really quickly. And one of the things that he does to help him do that is he goes from that knee being straight to kind of getting into that external rotation. That begins that drive phase, okay? One of the things that I was recently asked was, from an ankle standpoint, is it okay for that foot to turn out? And you can see how Ben Johnson's feet do turn out as he's running. Let me get some more of that there. So his feet do turn out when he's running as he's coming down. But notice how his ankle doesn't collapse in. His heel kind of turns out to the side when he lands. So see how his heel kind of comes in there, but what doesn't happen is this ankle doesn't collapse downward, okay? And that just means that his feet are really strong, and that's a big part of this, is you need to have strong feet. We'll see the same thing here. See how it's more of a foot turn as he's pressing off the ground instead of that ankle collapsing? I see a lot of guys who are sprinters who are trying to gain more speed, which when they land, that foot collapses down, and if you could see yourself, I mean, this is not near as good of qualities that you can get on an iPhone now. So, and we can see it here plenty good. But when you see yourself with an iPhone, you'll be able to see if that ankle is really collapsing down as you're beginning to transition that leg from that landing phase. So this would be more landing phase. He's good, has a good strong foot, and then as you go to here, that's critical to make sure that foot stays strong. This is where a lot of people will start to collapse. Even in the landing phase, you'll see a lot of guys, when they land here, their foot will start to collapse. That's all inefficient movement. That's all made it so you're not going to be able to, get that foot right back off the ground and really get a large amount of extension and forceful extension. So, very important point there. I think, again, what you could really take away from is that start that Ben Johnson did. Study that, be able to see that. I think that two-arm thing is really interesting. I think how fast he's able to get from his first, second, third step is very interesting. There's another race that I almost did the breakdown on. It was just a little bit too far away, and we didn't get the front angle too. But it was him against Carl Lewis, and really the big takeaway from that race was that Ben Johnson got out to a much better start, right? As soon as they were both at top speed, I would say Carl Lewis might have even been a little bit faster than Ben Johnson, but Ben Johnson jumped out to maybe a 2-meter lead because of his start. And when you get that start, now you can go and really transform the race. And that's the same type of thing here. He gets out. Let's see if we can get a good view here. See how he gets it. He got ahead in his start, and that's what made it so then he was able to end up winning the race. One thing I wanted to touch on too is look at how little time he spends in acceleration phase. I mean, he takes 3 steps, 1, 2, 3, and even in his second step, he's already beginning to look up. And I know a lot of guys, they keep their head down, keep looking down. You can see Carl Lewis doing that. Not necessarily a bad thing, but it is interesting how fast he's able to just get into that top end speed, and what that ended up doing in his race. I don't necessarily think that one way is better than the other way. I just it's food for thought, things that are interesting that show what Ben Johnson did, who is again one of the best starters I think ever. And so you could take away some of that information, utilize it in your own sprint. If you have any questions, please reach out to me, Morey, M-O-R-E-Y, at yourperformancelab.com. Also, we check out our membership. We have a cool membership page that makes it so you can get a little bit more information on how you can sprint better, what are exercises that you could do to prevent injury, how you can throw better. We do individual speed breakdowns too. You have to inquire to us. It does cost money for it, but it's a really cool thing. We do the same type of breakdown for you, except we add exercises as well. We'll have a sit down. You can give me a call. We'll talk, or I'll give you a call. We'll talk about what went over. What are some exercises you can even start doing? Maybe even from a lifting perspective inside the weight room, on the track, whatever the case may be. We'll be able to help you in better understanding what are the things that are going to help you get faster. So. I love to be able to hear from you and be able to help you become a better version of yourself. But yeah, as always, thanks for watching these video guys. I love doing them. I love that people are able to take a lot from this information. I will be able to do another breakdown here pretty soon. And let me know if you have any questions or if you have any recommendations for people to break down. Thank you, and we'll see you soon.